These guys are going to paddle out.
That's so cool!
In the middle of winter.
There's actual icebergs just floating everywhere.
At the height of a storm.
Dude, this is a new style. I've never seen this one before.
To surf an icy, slushy lake.
Big storms are what we go out in and enjoy the best.
If you're a surfer from Hawaii and you see these guys surfing in toxic water with ice beards, they're like, those guys are crazy.
But why?
You want to be known as a little nuts. You want to do something that no other person does, and how do you do that in the middle of the Midwest? This is it.
Meet the surfers braving bitter cold and more.
Great Lakes surfers are kooky.
To surf the Great Lakes in winter.
This is what makes us happy.
We'll start with this guy.
My name's Larry Longboard Williams, more known as Chicken Joe from the movie Surf's Up.
Dude, I'm from Lake Michigan. That's where I surf.
Larry and his brother Lee are basically the godfathers of Great Lakes surfing here in the Malibu of the Midwest, Sheboygan.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin, a sleepy little beach community of 50,000 people. I was born and raised 2 blocks from the beach and spend every single day at the beach. I started surfing in the early 60s and surfed here for 50 years.
In the late 80s, the duo launched an annual competition dubbed the Dairyland Surf Classic, giving Sheboygan some surfing clout.
What makes Sheboygan, Wisconsin, Malibu of the Midwest the #1 break, the #1 place in the world for freshwater surfing? It's a uniqueness of our coastline. We have bays, we have river mouths, we have breakwalls and piers and jetties. We have a reef that breaks just like Bonsai Pipeline, big enough to height a Volkswagen.
And though some locals say you can surf year-round, the pros know the best conditions come in the fall and winter months, when the storms bring strong southeasterly winds. That also means you're out when the weather is coldest.
It is never too cold. Been out in 17 degrees, 24 below zero. Water temperature is 33 degrees. With the proper gear, we can be out for 2.5 hours. We have to watch out for float ice as we're surfing. It could snap your board or snap your neck. We've never lost a surfer on the Great Lakes in over 60 years of surfing history. It's extremely dangerous and you have to be on top of your game.
Speaking of on top of their game, let's introduce these guys.
My name is Caleb Skelton. And I'm Sam Skelton. We spend as much time as we possibly can on the lake.
While Larry Williams surfed Lake Michigan, the Skelton brothers spend most of their days on Lake Erie.
Erie's shallow, so we get storms fast and we get waves fast.
The northern lakes have another thing going for them. They're much cleaner.
Generally, the rule of thumb is the further north you go, the cleaner it is. It's all one continuous water system. So the cleanest water is going to be in Superior and then Huron and Michigan and then Erie. So by the time you get down to the point where it's going up the St. Lawrence, some of the water is pretty gross.
Gross and even toxic. In 2017, a U.S. steel plant released nearly 300 pounds of hexavalent chromium into Lake Michigan. That spurred multiple lawsuits, including one from the nonprofit Surfrider Foundation, who said the toxic substance was making Lake Michigan surfers sick. Surfriders is still pushing for better water quality monitoring along the lake.
The Great Lakes surfers are proud of keeping their lakes clean and fighting against companies that are polluting our lakes.
That means fighting plastic pollution too.
So Erie gets a lot of storm sewage and stuff like that from overflows. Street drains go straight into the lake. So a lot of plastic pollution, bottle caps, tampon, inserters, syringes from the drug pandemic, unfortunately.
If I see trash, I pick it up. Sometimes it's fun to catch a wave and try and grab trash while you're riding past it. Little sport.
We try at least a few times a year to bring trash bags and clean up. My one friend, Shelly, she runs an organization called Keep the Great Lakes Great, and she does surf lessons in exchange for showing up to do plastic cleanup.
So they're not just surfers, they're stewards of the lakes, and nothing, especially not weather, will keep them off the water.
We had a wicked polar vortex last December.
I was out for 10 minutes before I had 3 inches of ice on me and I couldn't move.
Dude, this is a new style. I've never seen this one before.
His eyelashes were frozen. It was like -25, I believe.
I almost drowned, dude.
It's pretty wild out there. Lake Erie, we get a lot of onshore winds, so it's not really like always calm surfing. But we gotta look out for each other.
You can meet somebody your very first time here, and 15 minutes later, they're your best friend. And I've always said the water is 10 degrees warmer when you're surfing with friends. It's cold, but if it wasn't dangerous, we wouldn't do it.
Despite the apparent danger, winter surfing on the Great Lakes is growing in popularity.
Community's like growing. There's new younger kids out there all the time, and everyone believes it now, which is cool.
Internationally, it's on every surfer's bucket list to come to Sheboygan and ride these pristine waves. Come enjoy the beach in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, a Malibu of the Midwest.